Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another Lego City Zoo update. The first thing I wanted to take care of today was improving the look of the aviary. And I'd say the changes that I wanted to make in this area are maybe 70% done. That's to the aviary specifically. So it was a square glass box, and I wanted to figure out a way or come up with a way to sort of get away from the square glass box without rebuilding absolutely everything. So I thought to myself, I may as well pitch the roof. So that's what I did. The roof is still removable, and I think it looks pretty cool. Once again, only about 70% done the changes that I want to make to the aviary, but we'll continue making more changes in this update. But take a look at it. So yeah, the roof has a pitch to it now, which I think is good. Makes a little more sense and gets it away from that squarish design, although it is still a square, I do realize that. Of course, I could maybe give it like a curved front. That might be pretty cool, but I didn't want to rebuild absolutely everything because in order to give it the pitched roof, I had to rebuild these reddish brown walls. And when I rebuilt them, I made sure to put arches coming out on this side here. There was 2 sections, and then I also put arches coming out over here as well, which is another 2 sections. So I had to redo all of this reddish brown work. And then when I capped the aviary off, I decided to put a perimeter of the 1x4 studs not on top bricks, or the bricks with the forward facing studs, and I was able to put those grills so it's almost like ventilation all the way around the perimeter. For whatever reason, my light bluish gray slope selection is lacking. So you'll see like staggered plate on the side here, which is topped with ingots. It sort of matches the pitch of the roof, not really. Eventually I want to get a bunch of light bluish gray, probably 1x4 or 1x3 slopes, so that I can make that pitch like perfect, so that we can just blend in that roof beautifully. Now the thing is the only way for me to get this roof out is to grab the glass right here. I guess I could attach something to these Technic elements here, make it look like a larger vent so I can grab that and pull it off, because in order to access it, you need to be able to remove the roof, and in order to break it apart into its different sections, you also need to remove the roof, because this thing actually sits on 3 different giant Mills plates. I guess it's more so 2 because this one here is not attached to it, but it's this one and this one over here. So this actually took a little bit longer than I expected it to, just because I had to rebuild those reddish brown walls and also getting the math right between all of these different panels, because for some reason this one was like a plate higher than the one in the aviary because it sits on a plate, and then midway through the aviary there was a plate in there, so it was like throwing it off by a plate dimension. So getting the supports in there to make sure that this was all level took a little bit of time, and also making sure that the pitch was right and getting the concrete foundation built around it and actually on top of the rock panels. Yeah, it just took a little bit of trial and error really, but I can actually remove this roof very easily. Just got to grab it by the glass at this point. Eventually I'll probably put some sort of handle on there. And when I remove that, you can see some detail. So we've got the Technic pins, which sort of look like vents in my opinion, and also the grills along the top there, which match the grills around the perimeter. And then I have the Technic lift arms on the back side, which are mounted into Technic bricks, of course. And I was messing around trying to rebuild the concept of having the vertical supports as well. I used more Technic lift arms before. I just put a pin there and a pin there, but it was actually off by 1/4 of a stud, and it was causing the whole thing to bow. I was using jumpers and bricks and plates and trying to do some illegal stuff, and for some reason just couldn't get the separation here, like to figure out what the gap was perfectly between the 2 Technic bricks to add some support. Probably would have to start messing around with adding a layer of plate between the bricks, which might throw off the consistency of the evenly distributed gray lines that I have, to get some vertical support mounted between these Technic lift arms but it actually is pretty strong. Like I can move it around and remove it without it breaking. So just having the lateral support, I guess, is good enough. I'm gonna live without the vertical support for now. How I had it before was causing bowing, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But once I remove that, so actually technically what I had before was a legal building technique because it was putting stress on the Lego parts and causing them to bend. That's the definition of a legal building technique, when it actually starts to damage the Lego. But when I remove that, I just have to remove 3 pieces here to separate the different modules. I said 2 or 3 before, but it's actually 4. If I remove this tile, which is an ingot, and I remove this ingot, and I remove this 1x6 tile up here, now we can split this into the different sections. We have the Arctic, we have the back of the aviary, we have the main section of the aviary, and then we have the rock work for the lions. So yeah, it's not done yet because I need to add some vegetation to the arches on the side there. I also want to add some more detail in here to the upper rock work in the aviary and also above the Arctic area as well. Lego's technically never done. You can always improve it and add more. And maybe one day I'll want a curved window on the aviary. That might look pretty cool, but I'm happy with the changes that I was able to make so far today. I started using some of these rounded connector elements. I've used some of these in my trees in the past to put the branches like downward. Also the 1x2 modified plates with the forward facing clip. And I was using those to just get the branches downward facing like that. I guess I could go through and add the smaller individual 1x1 leaves on all those to bulk them up a bit. I started doing that on this side as well. I don't want to go too low, even though I've already started doing it, because I do plan on redeveloping all of this rock work here, and those will just get in the way, so I'll have to remove those eventually. But I also started adding some tiles to this water. And I want to go through with the wedge plates and give this water just a unique shape. We're working on the aviary. The water's out front. May as well make that look a little bit better. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. The flamingos are a little bit happier. I don't know if they're quite as happy as these penguins over here. They're having a great time. Yeah, that transforms that area though. Nice pop of color, hey? Like in front of the aviary, that's good. Now this here is all dark bluish gray, but eventually I'm going to be tiling that all off. I can't even like visualize where that is in the zoo. It's so weird when it's broken apart into different modules. Like, where is this? I know I'm going to put a food stand here, maybe like a popcorn stand or something. Just, hey, no feeding the lions, right? And this is all tiled off. Over here is going to be like the gators and stuff. This is tiled off. I'm going to have to make some sort of bridge going over top so that people can gain access to the Arctic. But I sort of want to put it back all together because I can't even like visualize it. What's up with that? You move things around, you can't even see what it looks like amongst all the other modules. But yeah, some of this high ground might not even make sense anymore, or might just have to be blent in and a bridge going over top. Look at this. That's a cool fox hanging out there. This whole area is going to get worked on relatively soon, but I do need to make that elephant cave. I want to make an elephant cave. I think that'll be really cool. I'll have to redo all that rock work there. So maybe I need to start deconstructing that stuff now. Before I do anything in relation to anything else though, I need to figure out the roof because the ingots didn't look too good. So I used the curved slopes on this side. I think that looks pretty clean, but I think the ultimate solution is probably going to be the 1x4 slopes like this. But those are dark bluish gray. And I don't have any light bluish gray. I have 2. Oh no. I think that probably looks the best though, better than the ingots and the plates, that's for sure. I don't know if it looks better than the curved slopes actually. The curved slopes looks pretty good. It's not done, but I think it actually looks pretty good. I like how the slopes go right to the top though. So I got rid of that 1x2x2 tall slope at the top. It's not a big decision. It's a pretty easy one. Either or really, right? I'm gonna run with this for now. I switched up the light gray tiles with dark gray. So now I just gotta swap out those slopes. Looks pretty clean though. I love it. So now to take it apart, we have to remove a 1x3 tile on either side and then the 1x4 slope. And then I can gain access to the roof and pop the roof out, and then it splits apart like it used to. There we go, I can see again now. I can start to visualize it now. Right? Concession stand and all nicely tiled off, more animal enclosures there. Cave, big rock. This water upgrade was nice. I'll have to merge it into the monkey enclosure. I might, this is a bit wide here. I might make it a bit more narrow. But this is where our bridge could be. Now that I see that, bridge. Reduce this wall that comes out so far and then go from there. But my main objective today was to improve the look of the aviary, and I think I achieved that. So I'm happy with the end result. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. And most importantly, have yourselves a great day. Bye for now.